Build shows on the road today, a little bit different. We are actually fishing today. I'm at a Major League Fishing Pan Am tournament with one of our big show sponsors, Builders First Source, who sponsors Major League Fishing. And we're about to visit one of the pros' houses. This is Justin Lucas's house under construction. We're gonna do a little site crash today. Justin invited us. Hopefully we're gonna get to meet the builder and see Justin's personal house under construction. Let's go see what we can help him with. Okay, so already we're noticing we got OSB framing. I like that. We got some solid sheathing. That's good. It's a good looking house too. Plus we've got traditional architecture. So we got overhangs. We've got things that have some protection. Yeah, this looks good. This looks real good. I like it. I want to make sure that he gets a kick-out flash right there, though. I'm not seeing one yet, but it looks like they've stopped their step flash. We want to get a kick-out there, and we're also going to tell them where these roofs come together. That's going to get a ton of water, so we want to make sure we get a good gutter in that spot right there. This looks great, though. Let's go inside. I say we go through the garage so we don't walk the plank. Nothing like slipping on a rainy day on the plank up to the house. Hi, Joyce. Look nice. You must have a bonus room upstairs here. This looks awesome. Yo, gentlemen. How's it going?
It's a great day.
I got the camera going if you don't mind. I'm Matt.
Jared Jackson.
Jared, nice to meet you, man.
Colt.
Colt, nice to meet you. Matt.
Taylor,
nice to meet you.
Good morning.
Justin, good
Fishing
morning.
partner.
How you doing, brother?
Good.
This is Justin.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yes.
I'm Justin, by the way.
Hi, Justin. Phil.
Nice to meet you.
Look at this location, Justin. This is awesome. Check out the view. Holy cow, that's unbelievable. Justin, this is going to be nice.
Thank you.
Wow. So are we pouring concrete to make a back patio? Is that what's going on here?
It's going to be composite.
Okay.
Same as down there at the dock.
Oh, I got it. Oh, man, look at your dock.
So what's going to be underneath?
That's really
You're not
nice.
filling it in, are you?
I'm not filling it in. I don't think so.
Just foundation space.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is beautiful. This is really, really
This
nice.
is my wife, Bree.
Hey, Bree, Matt Reisinger.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us out to the house.
Jared, do you want to give him the tour?
It don't matter.
Jared will give you the
Jerry, give us the tour.
All right, so this will be Justin Bree's kitchen. The main focus on this. was
Wow.
the lake
How
setup.
about this kitchen view? This is pretty awesome.
We're going to be sitting right here on the island, just looking straight out at the water, and then we've got a screened-in porch going right here that they'll walk out to.
That's really nice.
And then we've got 3 sliders that'll be equal all the way across here.
Beautiful.
And then walking into the living room, we'll have a floor to ceiling.
Look how tall that ceiling is, too. Wow. That's beautiful. Anderson 100 series windows? Yep. That's a great window. I've used those a lot. And the fixed ones are pretty nicely priced, too. Very cool.
Be walking into the master suite.
Okay.
Of course, you know, you got the best view in every house, every room of the house.
Yeah, you really have nice lake views. What a lot. Was there anything on this property before?
It was a solid wooded lot with some probably 30-year-old pine trees on it.
Is that right?
We came in and cleared it out.
Killer.
This will be our master shower walk-in.
Yeah, that's
They'll
really
have the
cool.
vanities
That's really
right here
nice.
behind us. And then, of course, we're going to deck out their little master closet here.
Yep. What's your blocking for? You're blocking for all your base cabs and all your uppers?
Yeah, we went ahead to do that just because we wanted to have it solid. And really,
That's nice.
they were thinking about possibly doing some floating top cabinetry.
So then
we
you
went ahead and-
got a solid block if you're gonna do floating
And then we
cabinets.
blocked also for mirrors. Some
Okay.
heavy mirrors that they may hang. So we
Gotcha.
went ahead and done all that.
That's great. Very cool. What do you guys do for insulation around here?
Mostly spray foam.
Spray foam?
Yep.
Open cell spray foam, I would assume?
Open cell on this
Yeah.
house. Yep.
Cool. Will you do a conditioned attic with open cell foam as well?
With this one, yes, we'll actually go ahead. We didn't put any ridge vents on. So we'll go ahead and just completely seal everything up.
Awesome. I love to hear that. That's great. So all that ductwork will be inside the air-conditioned space of the house. That always makes a great house.
We actually built a room. There was some dead space over here that we got on the floor in that room. So we're gonna put all the units in here.
Oh, that's
That
killer.
way we'll run it through the house.
I like your hand-cut roof too.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Guys did a good job on it, tying it all in.
Yeah, it gives you a ton of space. And then, so this will be mechanical room then, huh?
Yeah, this was just some dead space we had. We came in and floored it in just to have some extra space.
That's awesome. And we're over the master here. Master's right there. So this will all get spray foamed to the envelope. Let's walk this way so I can get
this
through.
is actually a hidden room.
A hidden bonus room. How about that? So go through these closet
We
doors.
still gotta finish the roof once the brick gets done, so there's a little water here.
Okay.
This is gonna be a hidden cabinet that'll open up.
Oh
swing
my
in hidden doors.
gosh.
And this was just dead space that we had.
How
above the
cool is
garage.
that? And I saw you framed it with I-joists on like
We went back
12 or
and
16 centers.
went back and beefed it up a little bit.
Oh, this is nice. This is some great storage space. Holy cow, I like this.
This added about 525 square feet to the house. So
This is nice, Jared. This is real nice.
And you've got
Closet space too.
So they've got this whole
Ton
area.
of storage. And is there storage above the garage as well out there?
So in that garage, no, we've actually just got some. We've actually put 2x12s down across the ceiling joists.
Mm-hmm.
So we could actually have some storage based on the spans, but it'd be just some limited storage with the pull down.
Yeah. Oh, this is really nice, man. Beautiful. I like it a lot. What do you think, Phil?
There's a lot of things we wouldn't be able to get away with, but they don't have snow loads and nothing.
Yeah, there's no snow loads here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the framing looks good.
Yeah, you wouldn't have any smaller roof rafters than 2x10s probably, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that just for the fact that you need to get the insulation value into them.
Yeah.
Not that the 2x10s aren't sufficient to support it, but
Well, they're going to spray foam with the roof line, so they could even just cover over those rafters. But yeah, we got no snow load here whatsoever, so it's no big deal.
Once a year when we get about a dusting is about all we
It's
have.
about all you get here. Yeah, there's not a whole lot.
Yeah, we shut down Alabama if we get more than 2 inches.
So with spray foam, we'll take care of some of this issue where you've got, daylight coming through there and possible air coming through, let's say that outlet. But that's one of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of just plain old house wrap, because it'll do a good job of waterproofing, but we could get airflow up behind that and then could come through that outlet. So looks good. Looks good. It's a good looking house.
show us beyond the roof.
Always fun to see framing.
Yes, sir.
No clips, no nothing. We use 5/8, no clips.
Do you really?
No clips.
Yeah. Because you need the.
Ring shank nails. We gap all of our OSB with an 8-penny nail.
Yep.
For the expansion and swell
Yeah.
of it, because it does swell.
And you need the 5/8 for snow load.
No, mostly just because we don't want to use the clips, because after a while,
Oh, I
you
gotcha.
start seeing, you can see them clips.
Right.
through the
Work their way through.
Shingles.
Mhm.
On metal roofs, they cause issues.
And on a metal
Yeah.
roof, you don't want the clips there anyhow, so, standing seam, you gotta have a minimum of 5/8 to fasten to.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense.
We do a lot of metal roofs.
It's a lot of square footage. How big is this house?
So this house is right at 3,500 under
Okay.
roof, and then we added the 500. So we're
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess this square footage is a really nice bonus. It feels like it's a nice size though, especially with this 2-story living room here. That feels really good. I like it.
got a little guest suite over there on the other side of the house, but other than that,
See, they'd make us joists hang all these ceiling joists.
Yeah. Yeah, and he just has a ledger for these.
yeah, y'all got stricter wind, the snow flow.
70-pound snow load.
Yeah.
100-mile-an-hour wind.
When you get to South Alabama, that's very similar down there. South Alabama, Florida. When you get to the coast, you've got all the strapping and all that hurricane stuff that we've got to implement down there.
You guys do a lot of block for foundations around here?
We do. So this house is a crawl space.
Okay.
It is a block foundation. In Alabama, most everything, if it's a spec house, it's probably slab on grade. But if it's a custom house, it's mostly a crawl space or a raised concrete slabs.
Gotcha. And what will you do in the crawl space? Do we have an access from the house down or from the outside in?
Outside in, we'll actually have them come in and encapsulate it.
Oh, killer.
Dehumidify, French drains underneath the whole house. So
Nice.
if there was any water intrusion, it can get out.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a
And you use open cell or closed cell down there on the walls?
So actually none on that. So
Okay.
we'll actually just straight up use the heavy mill reinforced poly on that. So,
Gotcha. Cool. We can't get down in there to see it, can we?
it's probably money. You would probably come back
With my construction flops.
Yeah. But it's definitely something that in Alabama I would definitely recommend now is encapsulating
Yeah.
crawl space.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to go.
Money ahead. It used to be a pricey item for people that, the homeowners were questionable. They'd rather put down, the code is just a 6 mil poly
Mm-hmm.
on the crawl space floor. But for here, that's something now that the market and the competition of those installers, the price has dropped a little bit now to where it's reasonable to go ahead, and it just makes sense to go ahead and do that.
That's great. Love it. And then is it pretty standard to put a dehumidifier down there as well?
It is. It needs to be a conditioned space because you're sealing it up. So
Right.
It's kind of the same concept of, spray foam in the house.
Yeah.
It needs to have a way to breathe.
And would you normally have ductwork down there or not?
We would or can have ductwork there.
Mhm.
And then we usually add a drop in there just to keep it a somewhat of a conditioned area. But
Got
the
it.
dehumidifier, it's either or, and what we normally do is
I love it. That's great to hear. So this house, I'd recommend getting a manual J on the house. And I've got 2 or 3 friends I could hook you up with. A guy named Corbett Lunsford or Allison Bales at Energy Vanguard. We're talking 1,000, or retail might be more than that, but 2,000, let's say. And they would do a load calculation where they would say, okay, these doors, these windows, they're facing this direction. This is the insulation value of the glass. This is a solar heat gain coefficient. And then they'd calculate how much load is coming through that wall so that you could actually figure out the exact amount of tonnage of air conditioning you need and the number of BTUs your furnace needs in the wintertime. And then they could also say, okay, if we're going to do spray foam in the roof line, if we're going to do it just to code, which is probably our 20 something here in Alabama, here's how much load would be coming through the roof line, how many BTUs of energy would be coming in that you need to remove with your air conditioner, versus if we double that and go to R40, let's say in the roof line, and let's say we do 10 inches of open cell foam, then you can say to your customer, 10 inches of spray foam is this additional amount. It's $4,000 or whatever the number is. But we can reduce the tonnage on your air conditioner by a half ton or 1 ton. There might be a couple $100 savings there. But then the big benefit too is going to ultimately be lower energy bills, but more importantly, better comfort in the house so that you have less of that heat coming through on those. I mean, it's got to get to 105 here occasionally in July.
Like 90, 95 is, hundreds are hot days here.
Yeah. Yeah.
90 to 95.
But you guys get in the 30s in the winter too, right?
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Low
So
30s.
it's relatively temperate compared to Michigan winters, for instance.
So what you're saying, Matt, is what you're offering to do here for him with that. Basically, he's saving you every month. So if you don't do this, spend it now.
Right.
You always spend it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Right.
it's
And if you're planning on living here for a couple of years, it's worth it. Now, if you're going to sell this house in a year, maybe you make the new owners pay for that upgraded insulation. But if you guys are planning on being here and raising the boys for a few years, that can be money well spent ahead of time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'll hook you up with the contacts
definitely
on that. Yeah, the manual J would be great to do on this house because if code is 5 or 6 inches of insulation, the manual J would be able to tell you, okay, with that amount of insulation at the roof line, here's the type of heating and cooling system you'd need. Let's say you need 6 tons to cool this house, and we need 70,000 BTUs of heat, let's say, to heat it, depending on the conditions of where you are. But you'll be able to tell the person who does your manual J, hey, let's bump that up to R40 on the roof line instead of R25 of spray foam, and see what that does. And then, that drops you down to 4.5 tons of air conditioning. So you could actually get smaller equipment that's running more efficiently. And the other thing I would tell you is in this marketplace, it's awesome you're doing a dehumidifier down. It'd be awesome to put a dehumidifier up as well. Because in Alabama, you guys get a lot of humidity. So if you could have a dedicated dehum just for the house space, that would make a big, big difference long term on the comfort for these guys. Because then your humidity's low.
No need for more comfort.
Exactly. Be really, really nice. Yeah. One quick tip on the insulator too that I don't usually tell builders. I tell homeowners who are nerds like me. Let's say you pay for 10 inches of spray foam at the roof line. Take a clothes hanger and make a clothes hanger that has 10 inches of wire showing, and then wrap a piece of tape around that 10-inch mark and use it as a poker. And make 2 of them and hand one to the insulator and say, hey, you're probably already doing this, of course, right? But we're doing 10 inches here. I paid your boss for 10 inches. So use this poker and make sure you give me 10 inches everywhere. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a poker too. And at the end of the day, if I don't find any spots that are lower than 10 inches, I'm going to give you this crisp $100 bill. And usually there's like 2 spray foam guys. So we're talking about $200, let's say. There's usually one guy who's manning the rig and moving the bottles and one guy who's the sprayer himself. And if you tell those guys, when you get done with this job, if I don't poke anything, I'm going to give you this $100 bill, man, they will do you a really good job.
I'll put that 200 out there.
We'll have that done.
Because I find a lot of times people get done with their spray foam jobs and they bid at 8 inches, let's say, but they'll find areas that have 4 inches. And the problem is if you insulate this roof section right here with 4 inches, even if it's just, a small amount of area and the rest of the house is awesome, you'll get more heat flow through that one area that reduces your overall insulation value of the roof hugely. It's like uninsulated attic hatches in Michigan. Your whole roof line could be insulated to R40, but if you have an R2 attic hatch, your R38 attic is reduced to like R20 because of that small amount of mist insulation that's lower reduces the whole insulation massively, and you'll have a huge amount of heat flow through there. So if we can get the spray foam guys to give you a full 10 inches, let's say in that roof line, it makes a huge difference long term on the house.
R50.
Say it again. R50. R50 is even better. R40 and open cell here in Alabama would be killer. Would be absolutely killer. That's what I would recommend. That's usually what I recommend in the South is 10 inches open cell. Because you're about double coat at that point. Or maybe 1.5 depending on.
We build a foam block for all the accesses.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
You build a foam block.
They're super tight.
Push up out of the way, slides right down in. And if you're not going to get into that attic space anytime, you can just take a small bit of can foam and just seal out that tiny little bit that's around the opening.
Yeah, that's awesome. And one other thing I want to talk to you about, you've got brick on the whole outside, and I saw when we drove in, there was another brick painted building. One thing to be cautious about, and you probably know this already, but this is for my friends who don't know this. Brick is porous. It's like a big sponge, and it absorbs water. And so when you paint brick buildings, you think that you're sealing out the moisture from getting into the brick, but in fact, it's still porous and you never get a perfect paint job. There's always going to be some amount of water that gets through. But now when the sun comes out and heats that brick after the rain, it's hard for that brick to dry through the paint, to breathe, exactly. And so we want to make sure that you're using vapor open paint on the outside. You don't want to use standard paint, in other words. So you want to use something like the Ramo Bio paints that are a lime-based paint so that they can get wet, but they can also dry through it no problem, rather than just a standard, paint that's going to make a film on the outside. It's okay for that brick to get wet. We don't want it to have a problem drying. So we want to make sure that when it does get wet, the sun hits it, it's not forcing that water and that moisture back towards the house. It's allowing it to escape to the outside. And these joists are going to be nice and solid for the boys jumping up and down upstairs, that's for sure. I ended up insulating a bunch of my joists in my house with Rockwool insulation, and man, I can't hear a thing downstairs. It's good and bad, because when I yell up to my kids upstairs, they don't hear me saying, come down for dinner. I have to sometimes walk upstairs. But at the same time, I can't hear them through the joists, because I insulated with all Rockwool in there. And then I insulated like these walls as well with Rockwool so that you couldn't hear them. It's a two-way street when you have a quiet house, though. We do a lot of yelling. Don't we, John? I like it. It's a good-looking house, y'all. Okay, job site tours are done. My 13-year-old John is dying to get on the water. We are with Pro Fisherman today, so it is kind of crazy that we had to job site stop. The Pan Am starts at 9 a.m. We're a couple of minutes late. Gentlemen, how about we go catch some fish today? What do you think?
Do it.
All right, let's go.
Say 113. Don't even need. Don't bother, Phil.
Check it out! This is mine! This is so good!
Yeah! Come on! That's a nice. Might be a 2-pounder. Oh my gosh! Look at that thing! Yeah! Let's go! Wow! Nice. Justin is a professional.
5 pounds, 12 ounces.
5 pounds, 12 ounces. Come on! All right, Phil. Did you have fun today?
I had fun.
That was a lot of fun, y'all.
We did.
We got to fish with a professional bass fisherman. Can you believe that?
Yeah, 2 days in a row.
We caught a lot of fish. How many fish do you think total we put in the boat?
Today,
Yeah,
probably 30.
yeah, probably 30 fish.
30 fish.
And I caught a couple really nice
We
ones.
caught 9 just in the past 15 minutes.
I mean, the end of the day was unbelievable. We absolutely killed it. Super
Yeah.
fun to be on the boat with Justin. Big thanks to Justin for having us out today.
You're welcome.
Really had a lot of fun. Come join us next year on this Pro-Am tour with Builder's First Source for Major League Fishing. All right, y'all, let's close out this build show. We had a lot of fun with Justin. Started the day at his house under construction. Caught a ton of fish. John had a blast. Phil and I had a blast. Just a couple of builders hanging out on a bass boat on a Tuesday. Kind of crazy.
Great day of fishing.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you're not currently a subscriber, hit that subscribe button below. We've got new content every Tuesday and every Friday. Follow us on TikTok or Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on The Build Show.